Remind us of the many worlds hypothesis, because I think that's now 100 years old, right? We're on the centennial decade of the major discoveries of quantum physics, the 1920s. So if you can just remind us what the many worlds, I think it was once explained to me, and I said, "What are you smoking?" I'm sure that's what I said.
But
Tell us.
when we teach undergraduates quantum mechanics, we say that a quantum system has two different ways of evolving. There's one way it can evolve when you're not looking at it. And that's what Schrodinger and Heisenberg and their friends figured out back in the day.
But just to be clear, to be precise, I know how you're using the word evolve, but to a biologist, the word evolve means something completely different. So you mean it unfolds,
Yeah.
the events unfold.
Yeah, it changes, it has its dynamics, whatever it's doing, whatever its behavior is. But then there's a whole nother way that we need to describe that behavior when we make a measurement, when we observe the system. Famously in quantum mechanics, you can't predict deterministically precisely with 100% confidence what answer you're going to get. You can predict a probability distribution over different possible answers. So
And Einstein said, God does not play dice
that's what Einstein said. Yes.
with
And
the universe.
Bohr
But it
said,
kind of looks like
You know,
you are playing dice. I'm just saying. I'm just
and by the way, what a presumptuous statement on Einstein's behalf. I mean, who knows what
Sean, didn't Niels Bohr say, Einstein, stop telling God what to do?
exactly. I mean,
right.
who's to say that God's not down on one knee going, Papa needs a new pair of shoes? You don't know that. You don't know that.
So was it Niels Bohr? Somebody said it to Einstein. Who was it?
I think it was Niels Bohr. I think the better advice would be like, don't play dice against God. You're not going to win if that's
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
Good.
That makes sense.
So what is this going on with this weird thing? You don't expect measurements, observations, looking at things to be part of the fundamental nature of reality, right? It never was before quantum mechanics came along. So you can ask yourself, what if like all of that was unnecessary? This whole idea that we need a separate rule for what happens when we measure something. What if you just erase that from the rules of quantum mechanics? And the answer is that what you find is that every possible measurement outcome comes true, but in a different world, in a different part of the overall quantum universe. You get parallel worlds where different measurement outcomes are true.
That's when I asked what the guy was smoking. Okay.
Wow. Now, wait a minute. So these different worlds are in the same realm? Is that the case? Or are we talking about completely different unfoldings that create completely different scenarios that make the whole thing work?
Or another way to ask that, do you have access to these other worlds?
There you go. Thank you.
You have an iPhone, you can download an app called Universe Splitter. And if you're ever stuck on what decision to make, should I have a hamburger? Should I have pizza for dinner tonight or whatever? Ask the Universe Splitter and it will come back with an answer. And you can be guaranteed that there's a whole nother universe which you can never interact with or talk to, in which you do the opposite thing. So
it's split in that instant.
Right.
In that instant, yes.
Yeah, at the decision instant.
Okay.
It's a physical quantum process.
But and that's because of the entanglement, because they couldn't exist simultaneously. They have to exist in those positions at the time of the decision, so that when one does it, the other does the opposite, or when one does something, so there's an action and there's a reaction, but there can't be action. It has to be so that they're existing and then reacting differently. Is that?
Sean, Chuck is about to blow a gasket.
I know, because you're freaking me out, man. You are freaking me out.
This is not anything that we bump into in our everyday lives. If it doesn't make you a little bit uncomfortable, you're not taking it seriously.
Okay. All right.